Manchester United versus Nottingham Forest, last Premier League home game of the season at Old Trafford. Will we see one last Casemiro show? Will Bruno Fernandes finally get that record-breaking assist? Or will Nottingham Forest ruin the Old Trafford farewell party? All of this and more coming up here on the final whistle, so stay tuned. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the final whistle for this match preview for Manchester United versus Nottingham Forest. So this is the early kickoff on Sunday, 12:30 UK time. Final game of the season at Old Trafford. United fans are going to be expecting a performance and a victory, no doubt. Not much to play for. United pretty much, apart from mathematically, pretty much guaranteed third position. Forest can jump a few places depending on other results, but ultimately not really anything critical to play for any team. Now, of course, all the news prior to this game is as you would expect. It's around Carrick. Has he been given the new contract? Is he going to be given the new contract? Is he going to announce it today, or what's going to happen? He confirmed in the press conference yesterday. Of course, he's going to be making an announcement. People called it an announcement. He's going to be doing, obviously, the talk at the end of the game, as everybody, manager-wise, is expected to do on the last home game of the season. It's tradition at Old Trafford, of course. The manager will come out and have a speech for the fans. So, of course, there's a lot of rumours. Have they saved the news for that particular speech? Is Carrick going to announce at the end of the game? He's got his new contract. He's staying with the club. Who knows? I think it's inevitable now. I don't think they would have built it up like this for it not to happen. I don't think there is other candidates right now who would be better than Carrick. Candidates were available, and Carrick's deserved it. So I'm all for it. I think Carrick has deserved the chance. Whether he announces it tomorrow, who knows? It will come at some point. Might be at the end of the season. Might be tomorrow. Who knows? We'll find out. So, my gut feeling about this game tomorrow, I think I'm kind of feeling like when you look at it, you're like, this is going to be an easy United win. We're going to have Bruno Fernandes chasing that last assist, what he needs to draw level with Henry. We're going to have Casemiro in his last ever performance in a Manchester United shirt at Old Trafford, which is, of course, a big event. I'm sure he'll be extremely emotional. So I kind of think that everybody's expecting just an easy Manchester United victory. And Nottingham Forest are just here to kick the ball around and see whether they can maybe get a point. But let's take a look at the form of both of these teams right now and see whether that's actually a fair point. So if we look, starting with United, I'm going to focus on Prem results, as I always do. So Premier League results only, looking at the last 5 games. Last weekend, Man United drew 0-0 with Sunderland. It was a poor performance. Sunderland, if anybody deserved to win, Sunderland deserved to win. Lemons was very good in goal for United. He made some extremely important saves, which kept them in the game. And it was a very sleepy game. It was like, we've qualified for Europe. We don't need to win this game. It's not that important. We'll just show up. That's what it felt like. I'm sure that's not what it was. It's just what it felt like. So that was the last game, 0-0 against Sunderland. Prior to that, of course, we all remember Liverpool-Man United game. Man United went 2 up, conceded 2 goals, and then went and managed to drag one back to win the game 3-2. Prior to that, they had a 2-1 victory at home to Brentford. And, when you look at those last 3 games, you're like, okay, 0-0 draw at Sunderland in a game what didn't really matter. 3-2 victory against Liverpool, amazing. 2-1 home victory against Brentford, easy. But the actual games, they told a different story. Because we already spoke about Sunderland game last week. Poor performance. Liverpool game, a good first half performance. Very sloppy to concede 2 goals. They should have finished off the game in the first half. They played amazing football. but very sloppy in the second half to concede those two goals, and lucky in the end that they actually managed to get the win. So yeah, big game. You got 3 points, fair enough. But it's more when we look back at Brentford and we look at like, okay, 1-2, drawn one out of the last three. The Brentford game was really bad. I would actually say the performance against Brentford was worse than Sunderland last week. If Thiago was on form that night, Brentford could have scored 5 goals. Right, United managed to scrape a 2-1 victory, but they got pretty much dominated all night. Brentford should have won that game at Old Trafford. So don't let that result kid you about the performance there, because it was a very, very poor performance by United on that day. Before that, of course, then there was the win away to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. And before that, the 2-1 home loss to Leeds, where again, Manchester United were very poor. So you could compare those home games against Leeds and Brentford to each other. And you can look at the performances and you can say to yourself, is there similarities in what happened in those games? I would say so, because Leeds absolutely peppered Manchester United on that day. They could have also scored more goals. So very similar results and performances. So when you're looking at those 3 home games there, which you would expect for Manchester United to win against Leeds, against Brentford, against Sunderland, they managed to get 1 win out of those 3, and that performance there was poor, and they should have actually lost that game. So it seems like Carrick is very good at getting the team performing for the big games, like, the away to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, home to Liverpool, and all the other big games they've won, winning at Arsenal as well, City. But when it comes to winning these other games, like the Leeds and the Brentford and the Sunderlands, United don't seem to be coming up with the goods. So that's worth mentioning because, again, today, home to Nottingham Forest, on paper, you would expect maybe Manchester United should be an easy win for them. But looking at form and looking at how they're performing against teams like that, lower down in the league, are we going to see the same results and same performances as we've seen against Leeds, against Brentford, against Sunderland? Who knows? Now let's look at Forest. Forest are down in 16th position in the league right now. I think they've got a chance to scrape their way up to maybe 13th or something like that if they win, providing other teams above them don't win as well. So you would think, okay, 16th, they've only just got themselves clear of being in the relegation fight. Probably got poor form. But let's just go through the form for Nottingham Forest. And again, I'm going to skip Europa League form and things, just Premier League games. So last weekend, they managed a late equaliser in a 1-1 home draw with Newcastle. Okay, performance. We knew Newcastle were desperate for a result because they've also had a poor run of results. So 1-1 on the day, I think, seems to be pretty fair in that game. Before that, they had a 3-1 away win at Chelsea. Before that, they had a 1-0 home victory, against Villa. Before that game, they smashed Sunderland 5-0 at the Stadium of Light, so away win 5-0. And before that, they smashed Burnley 4-1 at home. You actually have to go back to the 1st of March to the last league defeat for Nottingham Forest, where they lost 2-1 away to Brighton. If we actually look at the results since Pereira replaced Sean Dyche in mid-February, he lost his first 2 games. The first game was, I think, within a week of him getting the job. They lost 2-0 to Liverpool, I think it was, or 2-1. And then they lost that game, as I just said, to Brighton. And they haven't lost since. And those string of results there, that there's other ones, like games against City as well, where they managed to get a 2-2 draw there, I think it was, away from home. So Forest's league form since Pereira took over has actually been pretty immense if we put aside those first couple of games. So when we look at form, everything points to the potential of a Nottingham Forest result tomorrow. I say result. Is it going to be a win? I don't know. We'll find out. But going off form, Forest will win this game. That's literally what the form would say. Let's look at head-to-heads. The reverse fixture was 2-2 earlier on this season. Casemiro scored the opener. Gibbs-White equalised. Savona put Forest ahead. And then United had to rely on a late goal from Diallo there to equalise in that 2-2 draw. Well-contested game. both sides fielded a pretty strong squad and starting lineups. And yeah, 2-2, I think, on the day was a fair result. Last season, Forest won both games. Yep, so they had the 1-0 victory at home. You probably remember the wonder goal from former Manchester United winger Elanga before he left, where he ran almost the full length of the pitch to score in that 1-0 victory. And then they had a pretty comfortable victory at Old Trafford. Gibbs White was on the score sheet again that day as well. I think there was 3-1 up, and United pulled another one back to make it 3-2. So yeah, again, sort of the stats, again, pointing to the fact that Nottingham Forest do have a stronger chance of winning this game tomorrow. United have won only one of the last 5 meetings between the two. They've drawn 1 and Forest have won 3. So yeah, recent form, head-to-heads, all says Forest at the minute. So let's talk about potential starting lineups tomorrow. No fresh injury worries for either side. Of course, there was news come out yesterday about De Ligt having had a back surgery, and he's going to be out until at least the beginning of next season. So we'll see what happens with that. Ugarte and Sesko missed out due to injuries as well in the last game. We did see Casemiro and Mbeumo, I'm not going to say dropped, I'll say rested for the last game against Sunderland last weekend. I would expect both of those players to return. I would definitely expect Casemiro's going to return tomorrow. And Mbeumo, I think, also will return to the starting lineup. So you can probably expect the same, sort of Lemons in goal, Dalot or Mazraoui right back, Maguire. Don't know who he's going to team up with in centre of defence tomorrow. Could be Martinez, could be Yoro, could be Heaven. Shaw at left back. Like I said, Casemiro, Manu and Bruno probably going to be in the centre mid. And then, maybe Cunha, Mbeumo, and we'll see whether Sesko's fit. I'm not sure whether he's still injured or not. So we'll see whether he's fit. Otherwise, that might be slightly different. Forest, nothing new for them, apart from the fact that the news of is Gibbs White going to be back playing in a mask? That's what the rumours say. That would be a big boost for Forest if he's back. Like I said, he's got good goal-scoring form against United in the last few games against them. And he's always an attacking threat, right? I think he's second top scorer in the Premier League still this season. So we'll see if he returns and causes a problem. Other than that, I guess they'll pretty much be unchanged from the draw with Newcastle. And just one more thing to add as well. If Gibbs White doesn't play, I wouldn't be surprised to see Chris Wood start tomorrow, because in all the games I can remember where Chris Wood has played against United, not particularly for Forest, but previous clubs, he always causes United a problem. So it wouldn't surprise me to see him in the starting lineup tomorrow, especially if Gibbs White doesn't make it, or maybe if he starts on the bench if he's not completely match fit. So we will find out. All right, so predictions for tomorrow. I'm going to go 2-1 Forest. Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 Forest tomorrow. I think Forest are going to come away with a victory. I think their form is really good. I think United are just not... They're not playing very well at the minute. It's not a big game for them. And I expect Forest to be coming with something to prove tomorrow, because everybody else will be expecting a Man United victory. So let me know what your prediction for the game is in the comments. And enjoy the FA Cup final today. Check out my video preview there of the actual game as well, which I published yesterday. And keep your eye out for some videos as well for some of the other games coming on Sunday. All right, folks. Bye for now.